I knew you would. You should leave. While you still can.
whenever we put something in the game, we are trying to make sure it doesn't get boring. It's something new. One thing we're really trying not to do is to give you the same thing over and over and over and just work based on a recipe, but instead we're really questioning ourselves, is this unique within the game, right? I'm not saying unique across all games, but trying to give the player something fresh. REANIMAL is a co-op horror adventure where you play two siblings and you're looking for your three friends.
These kids grew up in a lovely place, but due to reasons that become more apparent as you play the game, that lovely place has turned really quite nasty. And so your job as these two players is to go and rescue your other friends and try and escape this nasty place. The island itself, due to this inciting incident, has been fractured, and so it's in 3 large parts and a bunch of smaller bits. Each of your friends can be found in one of these big parts. It's a very simple tale of find yourself in hell, go through a really scary place, survive and rescue your friend, you know. It's a tale as old as time.
Like, we really love seeing people go with that and just go the extra mile and find all those secrets and all these things and put it all together and come up with their theory, right? So like if we give away too much up front, everybody loses.
We definitely give players more this time round than in previous games, but still it's nice to keep a little bit back so you can kind of meet in the middle and see what people make of what you've given them and all that.
It's definitely a co-op game. You're together solving various like little, maybe puzzles is almost too much of a word there, but you're overcoming different obstacles in the world and survive various things we pitch against you together, right? So it's about the two players finding ways to survive and rescuing their friends, really, like we said before.
Because I'm a big couch fan, couch co-op is where it's at for me. But then a load of people love online. And then there's people who just want to do that together. So the fact that the tech team have managed to get all 3 boxes checked that front, I think is really, really nice.
And what was also very, very important to us is that it's all kind of the same experience because this camera is always the same, right? We don't have split screen. In online co-op, you don't follow your character and the other one is doing whatever. It's always being together as the two characters, and yeah, like Mer said from the beginning, like scared together. That was one of the pillars.
They're coming.
REANIMAL is the next major project from Tarsier Studios, the acclaimed team behind Little Nightmares, and it's being published by THQ Nordic as a full-scale survival horror cinematic platformer. Built entirely in Unreal Engine 5, the game is planned to launch in early 2026 on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, Windows PC via Steam, and Nintendo Switch 2, making it one of the first big multi-platform horror releases of the new year. At its core, REANIMAL tells a tightly focused yet emotionally resonant story about a brother and sister who return to their childhood island in search of 3 missing friends. What they discover instead is a place twisted by unnatural forces, where once familiar landscapes are now ruled by grotesquely mutated animals that stalk the forests, beaches, and derelict interiors. These creatures aren't mindless. They move, react, and hunt in ways designed to be both readable and terrifying, forcing players to carefully watch their behaviour and decide when to hide, when to run, and when to use the game's limited defensive tools. The entire experience has been designed for both solo play with an AI companion, or full 2-player co-op, playable locally or online, and to support this structure, Tarsier has implemented a shared, directed camera system that keeps both characters framed together at all times. This approach avoids the frustrating tug-of-war common in co-op platformers, while also heightening a sense of claustrophobia and dependency. Players must move as a pair, stay aware of each other's positioning, and cooperate to overcome challenges. Gameplay itself blends platforming and traversal with stealth, environmental puzzles, and light survival mechanics, emphasizing vulnerability over power fantasy. Combat is minimal and defensive in nature, encouraging creativity and timing instead of brute force. Progression takes on a wide, linear structure rather than being fully open world. There's a central path that advances the narrative, but as players explore and unlock new tools, like a boat that grants access to revisitable zones, they'll uncover optional side areas packed with hidden lore, environmental storytelling, fresh puzzles, and additional threats. This design rewards exploration and observation, creating a rhythm where progress and discovery go hand in hand. Levels alternate between tight, oppressive interiors that amplify tension and open shoreline spaces that tempt players with multiple routes while hiding dangers in plain sight. Every environment has been crafted with Tarsier's signature handmade aesthetic, where textures, lighting, and sound combine to make even the calmest scenes feel quietly menacing. In terms of presentation, sound design plays a huge role. Ambient noise, distant animal cries, and the unsettling quiet between encounters all serve to blur the line between beauty and dread. Narrative delivery mirrors the approach seen in Little Nightmares, relying on minimal dialogue, visual storytelling, and environmental cues to convey the world's history and the siblings' emotional journey. The tone is said to be darker and more unsettling than Tarsier's past work, but with writer David Mervick once again leading the narrative, the team promises a balance of horror, tragedy, and flickers of hope that keep the experience human and emotionally grounded. On the technical and feature side, REANIMAL will launch with single-player and co-op modes fully supported, broad language localization, achievements and cloud saves on PC, and console standard features like trophies, adaptive triggers, and haptic feedback on PlayStation 5, plus optimized support for the Nintendo Switch 2 hardware. THQ Nordic has confirmed that the project was first unveiled at Gamescom 2024, followed by a release window update at the THQ Nordic Digital Showcase 2025, which set a firm target for Q1 2026. With Unreal Engine 5 powering the visuals, players can expect physically accurate lighting, dense environmental detail, and fluid animation that makes every chase and every encounter with the island's nightmarish wildlife feel immediate and dangerous. Altogether, REANIMAL is shaping up to be both a natural successor to the eerie storytelling of Little Nightmares and an ambitious step forward into more complex survival horror territory. Between its emotionally charged sibling dynamic, its grotesque yet artfully designed enemies, its co-op driven pacing, and its handcrafted world filled with secrets, it has all the ingredients to be one of the standout horror experiences of 2026. Now you can enjoy the screenshots without any interruption as always. Enjoy.